Welcome to Queer Next, the podcast that puts the yeehaw in y'all means all. I'm your host, Beck.
And I'm your host, Dash. Welcome to today's episode. Every time I start a new medication, within hours, I've got every side effect in column A.
I'm pretty good about that, too. There's one drug called Farxiga. They added a side effect.
Because they met you?
Yeah.
Wait, really?
Like, really.
Wow. Well, now you're a... what is it when you have a medical legacy?
I'm also a paid medical model. Who can say that?
What is that?
So, I have issues with the veins in my legs. I've had 9 ablations done on them.
Right. Yeah.
And so the doctor, when I had my wound, there was like a conference of vascular doctors in Cincinnati. So he had me come down at like 8:00 in the morning, and I went on the stage, and there were like 100 doctors in the crowd. And he did a live Doppler on my legs to show them how weird my veins are.
Wow.
Yeah. I got a Visa gift card, so I was a paid model, man.
That's cool. I mean, how did that feel?
Weird, but whatever. They were doctors.
Right. It's kind of like, boy, this feels like the definition of a lot of versions of exploitation, but also people need to know how bodies work.
Yeah. Apparently it was news to them that my legs would be bigger in the evening than they are in the morning. And I'm like, I figured that was like common knowledge, and it was not apparently. So.
Wow. I did not know this about you. That's very cool.
Yeah.
Well, I remember when we met, you were still having some of them troubles.
Yeah, I got cellulitis below my knee. That was no fun. I was in the hospital for a week. My first week of grad school, I ended up in the hospital.
Oh, so very shortly after that first day we met at orientation.
Yep. It was like Thursday or something of that week. It was the first time that I had theory with Ellen Berry. And I left that class and came home, and I had gotten Wendy's. Like, Wendy's had this pretzel bacon pup sandwich that was delicious.
I have had that one many times.
Yeah, and I stopped and I got one, and I brought it home and just set it down and went to bed. And Shanna was like, what? Because that was not like me. I bring food home, I'm going to eat it. I'm an eater. And I like food. I don't like junk. I like food. And I just went to bed, and I ended up in the hospital later that night. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Did not know that, but I did notice that one week you just sort of spawned in theory class, like you hadn't been there for a while, and then all of a sudden you were there.
Yeah.
So that, I guess, explains that. My God, what a class that was.
Yeah, it was interesting. I took theory twice with my master's and my PhD. I'm still not great with theory, but I've taken it twice. It's just difficult material, I took it with Ellen Berry, and then I took it with MK.
I took it twice also, but I did my master's at a different school.
Yeah.
It was lit theory, which is a lot of the humanities and social sciencey, the softer social sciencey disciplines use most of the same scholars, most of the same schools of theory, but in different ways. So taking lit theory at my master's was really just reading the same stuff, but thinking about it in a different context.
Right.
But we also took a shitload of pedagogy.
Makes sense.
But I remember that class, though. I was like, yeah, I've taken theory, but like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I'm glad I wasn't the only one that felt that way.
Oh, my God. Well, I tell you what you missed on the first day of class was me and Eric, like we became, buddies pretty quickly, and we were in all the same classes. So we sat next to each other on that first day. And God, he's such a cunt. He made me laugh so hard. Like, I had just raised my bottle of water to my lips, and Ellen Berry was going around talking about things, right? She was just Ellen Berrying around, and he just leaned over and seethed in my ear, "I hate this." And it was so unexpected. I had not met anybody like that yet who would just go say that out loud. Like, what in the hell? And so I laughed and I spat this water all over the table, and everybody and he starts laughing because it's such a ridiculous, something out of a sitcom or something. he's going like, "Oh my God, I'm so embarrassed for you," which only made me laugh harder. And so we're just like making this fucking spectacle of ourselves in this very, like, that class was very, I think a lot of people just really wanted to impress. That we did not start out impressing anybody.
My meeting yesterday was very productive. We're going to get me a new grad rep.
Okay, awesome.
I'm very excited about that.
Yes, I'm glad you brought that up. Off air, we talked a lot about your pretty cool project, but you had a big kid meeting with someone with a lot of say over your progress.
Yeah. And he said to watch out every time he sees me in the hallway, he's going to ask me how it's going. I was like, that's fine. That's totally fine. You know, I just gotta figure out how to get the work in. Like, time to carve it out. I'm friends with Maybelle Blair on Facebook, and she was one of the original girls in the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League. And she gained some fame. She's like 95 now, and she gained some fame because she came out as a lesbian in her late 80s.
Didn't
And
she throw out a pitch?
recently, yeah, and I'm friends
Yeah.
with her on Facebook.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should definitely like ask her if you could send her some questions.
Yeah, I've already thought of that. So I've been cultivating that friendship for over a year.
That's how you do it.
Yep.
So there is going to be a women's baseball league? Like a
Yeah, it's
professional?
starting next year.
Okay.
They've already had tryouts, their first draft. Over 600 women showed up, which I think is really cool.
I'm seriously picturing that scene in A League of Their Own now of the tryouts.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite scenes. First
Yeah.
of all, I love a montage.
Right?
A Penny Marshall montage at that. Like, she is particularly skilled. That's a very specific style of editing. Did you take that film theory class with us?
No, I've never taken a film theory.
Okay. Well, in it, this was the first time I learned anything about like film approaches, like approaches to analyzing film and how it's different from other texts. And there's apparently this kind of like beef rivalry. I don't know how animated it really is because I can easily see both sides in film analysis circles, that like one side believes that the majority of the meaning comes from the editing, how it's edited afterwards. And the others say that the meaning is produced more from the actor's performance than the editing. I don't know. I could see it either way, but it is true that both of those things are ways to produce meaning. And so the way Penny Marshall's montages are like, some of them aren't even montages. Some of them, like just the way she chooses to block a scene. For instance, I always get a really big laugh out of the gag in that movie where they're trying to catch the train and the camera is, we're looking out the train door. So we're moving and we're looking out the train door as Dottie runs back and forth. She runs to catch up with the train, throws a briefcase, and then she shows back up again and she's like throwing Kit. That's a very particular Penny Marshall style gag.
Right.
There were a lot of ways to tell that story, and I think it would have been a little shittier had there not been the humor in it.
Right. No, I agree with that completely. It was a necessary character of its own.
Yeah, right.
Like the whole, I still quote Marla Hooch. I still do her dance around the house. I had a friend whose mom's name was Marla, and we always called her Marla Hooch.
I bet she loved that.
She was a bit of a drunk, so it was kind of oxymoronic.
I remember that big old house they were at, that they filmed that in Kentucky.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it was Western Kentucky. Several sections of it were filmed in Kentucky. One was, I think, the baseball stadium. I think the stadium, or one of them, they shot it at several. But one of them was there in Henderson, Kentucky. I remember that just because my cousin got to be an extra.
That's awesome.
And I probably would have found that out. But I remember my aunt at the time was super upset about Madonna. She was really like slut-shamey and mad about Madonna being in Kentucky or something. I remember being like, this is a kind of outrage I don't know how you even managed to conjure.
Right.
But now, having lived a life of watching people do that very thing, whatever. Do you remember Madonna's song from the movie?
Take a bow. That.
No, it was This Used to Be My Playground.
Yeah.
Sappy ass song. That's one of the worst songs she ever made.
Yeah, for sure.
It was a cool music video though.
I don't remember it. I never watched a lot of MTV or anything like that. It
Mm.
wasn't my jam, I guess.
Had all these photos of like the original players
Oh
and
yeah,
things in it. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I'll have to go back and look at that.
Just watch it on mute. Turn on a different song and
That's how I feel about artists like J Lo and Britney Spears. I like them way better on mute.
J Lo. I don't know much of her stuff, honestly. I know there's one song that I jammed to really hard. I'll get obsessed with songs. I
Same.
think maybe they'll just come into your life at a very particular time, and you're like,
Yep.
this is me. This is my personality for the next several weeks.
Yep.
Just get used to it, folks. And so there was this song that I think it was called "I Love You, Poppy." Stupid, stupid song, but it was so catchy. It was a bop. This was a time in my life living there in Bowling Green when I was coming to terms with the fact that I enjoyed a particular kind of girly pop, and I don't remember there being a ton of options for that genre back then. About a decade ago, like we weren't swimming in the Chapel Roans and the Sabrina Carpenters and them. So yeah, that was that one J Lo song that I could probably just sing all by myself.
I'd like to hear that.
We won't be doing that one on the show.
Maybe Guitar Guy, I'll come back.
Oh man, I bought me a guitar to celebrate, kind of for my birthday, but also for to celebrate. I passed my defense. The listeners don't know that unless they follow us on social media and know the stupid story of what I did, which I'll tell in case y'all didn't know it. I bought myself a guitar because they were on sale. I wanted a Spanish style, like a nylon string guitar. David got lit up one time about 20 years ago and fell on my old one and snapped it right in half. And I never did replace it. So I got me one for $150,
That's awesome.
but it's lost in the mail somewhere. So the case arrived without the guitar. So I had to go to the post office this morning. And she was like, "Yeah, I don't know. There are no packages over there." And I was like, "All right. So you agree that this is strange, though, right? Like, there's a case but no instrument."
Where I live in a big complex there's like one bay of mailboxes up by the front office. So USPS doesn't deliver anything bigger than like a shoebox. There's like 8 boxes there where they can leave stuff in it. Otherwise it goes to the post office. So if like Amazon, so if I order my Red Bull and for whatever reason they send it postal service, it's just gone forever because I'm not getting that back, you know?
Wow.
So it's hard to order books used because they all come postal service. It's tough.
And those don't get replaced.
No.
So remember that on last time we recorded, I was talking about my need to make the perfect presentation, perfect slideshow for my dissertation defense. I was so intent on making it nice that I had started it over several times and finally made one I was happy with. And the movie Wicked features in the first, this is how I opened it. And I put pictures in my dissertation because I thought that was fun. So I had a picture of Galinda doing that dance she does down the hallway after, what's the song she sings? Popular. After she's singing Popular, she does this little dance down the hallway, and Ariana Grande does this really cool high kick that was apparently unscripted. She decided to do it. Nobody even knew she could do it because it's a pretty advanced dance move. So I had a still shot of that in the document, but I had it like just up by itself, and I don't know why. I must have clicked on it or something. So I'm talking, giving my presentation on structuralism. I'm getting into it, talked for about 20 minutes and laid my whole argument out and felt pretty good about it. But there were several moments where I had used visual aids and I referenced them and nobody said anything. So I just, no reason to think anything was off. And so right at the end, I had a picture of Mothman. And I said, "This is an Appalachian cryptid." And finally, my chair said, "Is it on the screen right now? What are you looking at?" And I was like, "Yeah." And so I looked at the settings and I had been sharing that picture of Galinda with her whole galusi out with that leg up in the air. This is an Appalachian cryptid. I started fucking pouring sweat and I was like, I think I said something like, "Why didn't y'all tell me?" Because, or maybe they just sort of understood me to be wondering that because my chair was like, "Yeah, I mean, you were doing a good job of explaining it," and I was just listening. And I guess I guess we just figured. Just now thinking like, would I have said anything? I don't know. Especially if it felt like they were in their groove or whatever. I could see me sitting there going like, this ain't right, but I'm just not gonna.
Right. Well, I'm so proud of you, dude. How's it feel to be done?
There's these moments where I'm like, huh. But we're also like in an in-between stage. It's kind of all over, but the shouting kind of thing. You gotta do paperwork. I have to do some course for validation forms. I have to edit it into the version of the manuscript that gets uploaded to that database. This cat is chewing on everything, and he keeps reaching up and trying to scratch the microphone.
He just wants to be heard today.
Yeah, he's got a lot to say. Hey, no, but you can't eat the microphone.
Wenda is passed out beside me. I could bring her up here. She'd be like all drunk to sleep.
So did you reschedule the meeting with your chair?
Yeah, I'm going to do it on Tuesday. So not a big, that also gives me more time to work on stuff before then. So maybe I'll feel even better about the presentation with him, because I want to be like ready to go. You know what I mean? Ready to dive in. So
yeah. Like you don't want to be married to an argument, but you do want to be versed in where it fits.
I almost wrote about Melungeons, but decided the research would be way more fun for baseball. Have you ever heard the theory that both Abraham Lincoln and Elvis Presley were Melungeons, which would make Abraham Lincoln our first black president?
Didn't Jane, what's her face, make that argument? Remember that anti-racist educator? Jane Elliott. Yeah.
I know who she is. She was the blue-eyed lady.
Mm-hmm. She's still alive?
That's awesome.
Damn, that is cool. Okay. Now I'm going to see if I can find this, because I know that I saw someone making the argument that he was like our first black president. Yeah, that was her. She made it in 2018 on the Arizona PBS show Horizon. I don't know if I really agree with her. I not agree with her, but I don't know that I would have had the confidence to make a claim like that based on the available evidence.
Right.
But also her approach is, I guess, assuming she's still practicing, very shock oriented.
Yeah, for sure. Her work on Oprah, especially.
I'm not familiar with that.
Oh, yeah, that's when she became like a household name. She went on Oprah and they did the blue-eyed, brown-eyed experiment on the audience, and it was a pretty good reaction to it.
Okay. So I've seen the video of them being sorted, basically, when they came in.
Yeah.
And didn't know that was the Oprah audience.
Yeah, that was the Oprah show.
What a setting for that to happen. I remember Oprah doing this would have been early 90s, I'm pretty sure, a show on homosexuality, and an audience member trying to get in her face about like faith and whether Oprah can call herself a Christian and also not hate gay people.
I've seen that clip.
And I mean, yeah, that was kind of back before Oprah was Oprah, but still, the places people will find it appropriate to plant their flags.
Trying to tell Oprah she can't be a Christian.
Or anybody, honestly. I mean, that's all right. So let's give this wheel a spin. We've been skipping this, but it's very low on things. So I'll put out a poll on social media and see if folks have ideas, and then also we can just stick things on. Okay. Well, this we're gonna be telling on ourselves here because it landed on vandalism.
Oh no.
Which I have a lot of stories about.
Vandalism. The funniest one was when we drove around Scioto County trying to put red noses on all the deer signs.
And did you get stopped?
No, we realized we couldn't reach any of them, and when we did reach one, the marker that we had wasn't good enough for the metal that is the sign.
That's a bummer.
Yeah, it was, but we tried, man.
We used to steal street signs.
There was one on school property, because like the driveway for the school was like really long, and then it intersected, and so there was like a stop sign and a street sign down there, and that got stole like every time they put it back up.
I don't know if it's like this where you're from, but street signs on the rural routes, especially there in Whitley County, it was all someone's name, just whoever the last person to live on the street was.
Right.
So people would steal them because it had their name on them.
Right.
or if they said something stupid like Big Bone Lick,
Devil's Hole.
Devil's Hole.
That's in Wood County, by BG.
Yeah, there was a Devil's Backbone down by the holler that we went to. Our doctor, which I'm putting in quotes, listeners, his prescription pad did not have his name on it.
Ooh.
He was a physician's assistant, and there were, I assume, these people who worked in his office were nurses because they knew how to draw blood and shit, you know.
Right.
But whoever the doctor was there, nobody ever saw.
Wow.
Yeah, it was down this holler on 25W between Jellicoe and La Follette called Widhabersham. It was right next to this rock formation on the side of Jellicoe Mountain called Devil's Backbone. And to me, it looked like the plates up the back of a Stegosaurus or whatever it's called.
I'm not familiar. No.
It's that dinosaur that looks like it has a mohawk down its back.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it looked like to me as a kid.
Oh, got you.
But we also, I never stole a sign, personally. I just was the lookout many times. I wasn't tall enough. It had to be somebody over 6 foot.
Right.
Or somebody who could jump real high. Also, I was kind of chicken shit. Like, I was around a lot of bad activity, but rarely participated in it.
Right.
Because I knew I'd be skint alive if I got caught. Like, David got caught doing all kinds of shit, and they thought it was cute or something. But me, no, I'd have been killed.
Very different standards for boys and girls.
Right. And the oldest and the, not oldest.
Yeah.
I mean, certainly the best behaved of all of us was Vanessa. But even if she wasn't, she probably would have got away with murder if she wanted to, because she's the youngest. I'm not sure.
I was the good one in my family, too. My brother and sister were both really into alcohol. Very young.
Yeah. I wasn't, my high school, they drank a lot, like, especially the cool kids. There was, like, the different circles that I hung out with. And so, like, the stoner party kids, yeah, they had booze every weekend and got stoned every day. But the ones that I spent the most time with were my friends from, like, academic team and the AV club. They were cool kids, but they were not partiers.
Right. That's how my friends in high school were, too. We were all in band. I was in the flag corps, and we were in choir. Because you either had to take choir or art. You couldn't take both. So you had to choose your loyalty. It was one or the other.
With us, it was choir or band. You had to pick between choir and band.
But no, you could do both of those.
Interesting. Because those are both big time commitments, and art isn't.
Yeah.
Like, we would still get up to shit with those, but it wasn't because alcohol was involved. It was because we just wanted to get up to some shit.
Yeah. I got drunk a few times in high school, but not like my sister and brother.
Yeah. Yeah, with me, it was very sparse. And just, and it was mostly all my senior year because there was this girl I had a big crush on that was a drinker. So that was the first time I got drunk enough to, like, be sick and kind of, like, not be able to actually use my limbs.
The first time I got drunk, I was a freshman, and my friends, so I took Japanese as a language my freshman year. It was a small school, but we did it by satellite. Like, my librarian would record the lesson off of the TV, and then we'd watch it during class. There was only me and my friend Ben were in the Japanese class. But there was a class ahead of us. They were like the year older than us. And one of the people from that class was there. And so it was at my friend's boyfriend's house. They were all older than me. And she brought out the bottle of Jack Daniels, or Jim Beam. It was Jim Beam.
Why was it always Beam?
Yeah, and quarters. And she was really good at quarters. And they just got me shit-faced in no time and just trying to make me speak Japanese, trying to drink. That was crazy. And the only thing I really remember, there's two things. One, passing out in the bathroom and everybody coming in to look at me and point. And he brought his mom in and was like, look at this. And they all thought it was hilarious. And number two, getting a strip tease from this guy named Matt while Beethoven was on the TV. Like, it was a big dog. Those are the two things I remember. That guy never did look me in the eye again.
I'm sure. Did you ever do, like, pranks that were vandalism? There was a lot of pranks that the kids would do, and I was like, that is darn near a felony.
I can't think of any that we did. We were such good kids.
They would do things like put bologna on the car so that it dissolves the paint in polka dot splotches.
Oh, wow. I once put shaving cream all over somebody's car, and they rinsed it immediately because of that. Yeah, I didn't know.
when we were still like little, living in the trailer park, we would break into things because we just were bored. So there was empty trailers there in the trailer park, just a couple of them there in the back, and so I would break into them, and we would basically just use it as our playhouse.
Huh.
And I just seriously did not know I wasn't supposed to do that. Like, my orientation to property at that point was, can I do it? Okay, then it's mine. Like, if I can get in it, then it belongs to me, because there's no such thing as property in the trailer park.
Right.
There's no such thing as privacy. It's very like communal living. You would have to like specifically sit a child down and say, just because you can walk inside something doesn't mean that you're allowed to. And nobody ever did with me because they didn't think to. So I was like, well, I can get in here. This is easy. We got caught and I felt so guilty.
Who caught you?
It was my mom. Well, she's the one who punished me. I would say that like the people who lived next door or something just saw us doing it because it was 5 feet away, you know?
Right.
And didn't confront us because we weren't their kids. So I'm sure somebody saw us and then told mom about it. And we broke into the high school there, which it wasn't really that hard to break into it because the doors didn't work anyway and they were chained shut. And so we just had to get the chains off.
See, my high school was brand new. We didn't
Yeah.
have, like we were the first freshman class in there.
There was also a house. This is the one that had all those dirty magazines in it.
Mm-hmm.
Up on the mountainside, that I don't know if it had been built up fully at one point or if somebody had been building it and stopped halfway through, but it was like partially, like you could see the building materials and stuff in the walls. And we definitely would go in there and like break the sheetrock and stuff and intentionally break things we found in there.
Speaking of my childhood, I've been requesting several books through the library this week, and I decided to see if they had any Sweet Valley High or Christopher Pike novels, and I got one of each.
I saw a YouTube video that mentioned the Christopher Pike novels, and it made me think of you because I don't think I had been aware of them until you talked about them that time. The video I was watching was about R.L. Stine.
Gotcha. Same vein.
Yeah.
I also read a lot of V.C. Andrews.
My mom read those too.
Yeah. But I was like 9 in the middle of the...
That's what made me laugh.
Yeah. Yeah. Because those are not for children.
Nope.
I devoured them.
I don't think I've ever read one. Did she do the Flowers in the Attic one?
Yes.
Okay.
All of them were twisted with incest.
Oh, that's what I was about to ask.
Yeah.
Are they all?
Yeah, they all have incest and dead people and all kinds of poverty and depraved things and things I definitely should not have been reading, but I was.
I mean, I was reading Stephen King and Dean Koontz and Cleve Barker, so depraved in different ways.
I could never go to the library because I had fees and I had lost books when I was like 9. And so I always just got somebody to buy me the books in the checkout at the grocery store. So that was my library.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because that would really like shape what you had access to.
Yep.
I mostly owned I was reading paperback copies of things that I could get at a store, but I can't remember where I got it. There was a used bookstore where you could take a cardboard box in and give them $5 and then just fill it up with as many books as it could fit in there.
Wow.
Yeah. I think it's still in Berea, this store. Listeners, let us know if you know the store I'm talking about. So I got a bunch of paperbacks that way.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I would read, especially Stephen King, because I loved horror, being able to read about horror in a way that also felt kind of closer to you. A lot of the horror that I had been reading before was super out there, right? It's like science fiction. You couldn't imagine yourself in the character's shoes, really. But I could with Stephen King. But the main thing I liked him is because he included queer characters.
Right?
That was the only place I ever got to read queer characters.
I didn't realize I wanted that at such a young age, though I do remember when I was first coming out to myself, one of the first places I went was to the library and checked out some books about queer people and that kind of thing. I was so scared to even check them out, I remember, or even asked where to find them or whatever. I remember the whole process was really scary. It took me like 3 trips to the library to finally get one checked out.
That's why like a sort of stealth version of queer representation in like mainstream media can be such a big deal for people who are in the closet.
Yeah, for sure.
I remember there was a couple of gay characters in The Stand when I read that.
I just recently watched that, and it was really interesting.
I remember you told me you watched the 2016 one. Did it have
Yeah.
gay characters in it?
Not that I remember, but I could be
Only
misremembering.
only one of them was a main character, and this is very much a straight cis man writing a lesbian. It could be, how someone experiences that. I don't know. I was a child when I read this, and I just thought like, cool. What an interesting way to think about sexuality. But this character she was undercover, and so she was sleeping with a man to gain his trust, but she was in her mind processing her own sexuality and sort of like thinking to herself, almost like reassuring, or not reassuring, because she didn't feel traumatized or anything, like she chose this gig or whatever, but she was thinking like, I really do love women more. And she's looking at herself in the mirror while she's thinking about this, and and she's like really appreciating her body and like just femininity in women's bodies, and I was like, I love this. This is so cool. Like, I don't really appreciate my own body, but that was a moment I think I understood that like there were different kinds of queerness. Like what I was feeling was not lesbianness, really.
Right.
It was like I was attracted to girls, but I did not feel like one because I couldn't put myself in those shoes.
Right.
But yeah, I would take that book and reread my favorite parts.
I've reread the Ruby Fruit Jungle probably 24 times. Like, I don't have a copy at the moment. I have a copy on its way because my last one fell apart.
I got an email about that book club. I need to send it to you.
I'm going to go to the book club on November 24th, I think it is. I'm going to join them. Yeah, up on Airport Highway, near Airport Highway is where they're going to be.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
That's cool. We need to get them to send us some information so we can plug it to folks in the area there.
Yeah. It seems really cool.
It's a traveling queer book club there in the Toledo area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It goes from Port Clinton to Toledo and back. The whole little area, they kind of spread out.
I am gonna join. I don't know if I'm gonna join yet, but I have scheduled to do a trial of a dojo. It's super far away. It's gonna be like a 3-hour round trip to do it, so it'll probably be a Saturday thing.
My nephew does that and loves it with all of his heart.
Oh, I love it too. I absolutely love it. I miss it so much, and one of the best things I've found to do for my muscles. Like I have so much pain all the time if I can't keep those tiny little minor muscle groups strong. And so Muay Thai and kickboxing has been the best way for me to do it. Grappling too, but I don't love grappling as much. I'm not so big on the touching,
Right.
I do see the appeal. It is a very fun sport, but I don't like it just for sensory reasons. It's nothing about like, rubbing up on dudes or anything.
Yeah. That would be my objection. No, thank you.
I have been in some really like negative spaces, dojos, and I've been in some that feel fine, that are super affirming and inclusive. But by and large, all of them are very masculine spaces, and they tend to be pretty conservative. It just became that way after conservative came to mean what it does now. There are times when the fact that I'm trans does have to come up, and I dread it every time. I'm like, if y'all only knew the number of times that it's you that forces this conversation, that we don't walk into anywhere going, God, I hope I find an opportunity to talk about the fact that I'm trans. I have a friend here who he's asked me like, why do you want to go somewhere where people are going to be like that? Like basically could likely have this viewpoint that I don't deserve to live or something like that. Like, why would I choose a space, choose a hobby that has such a high likelihood of that to happen? And it's a fair question. And I do understand that could look strange on the outside. But, my answer is that I just really enjoy the sport. And getting access, it just doesn't exist everywhere. And the version that exists nearest you is the version you get. But also, that's a controlled environment. It's a team sport. Like, when you get in there, you're all on the same mission. You all have the same goal. It's not like walking into a bar where people could very quickly decide that they don't want me there. It's harder to decide that your teammate doesn't belong somewhere, if that makes sense.
That was always my strategy at bingo. People would find out after they realized they liked me. Then they would figure out that I was queer, and I'd be like, too late. Now you like me. Can't take it back.
Well, I got hate crimed while I was in the second dojo. The first one I just couldn't get down with, but the second one I went to was there in Illinois, and I would go back in a heartbeat. I would just grew to love these guys and loved this place, and women felt safe going there, which is always a good sign. But my car was vandalized, so I hadn't been able to make it to class for a while. And he contacted me. He was like, "It's not like you miss class this much," and I was like, "Yeah, I'm dealing with some car trouble or whatever." And I don't just told him what happened. I don't know why. Just like, so here's the deal. And he was like, "Holy shit!" And he went on this like journey of educating himself. And I was like, "Oh, okay." He didn't bombard me with questions or anything like that, but he just I could see the talk of the place begin to change, and the way he intervened in certain banter, right? Certain quote unquote locker room talk, which was already fairly benign by locker room standards, I guess, by dojo standards. But he took his role as a mentor very seriously. And he was a black man trying to run a business very close to sundown town. So this was like right next to a sundown town there in Illinois. And there were a lot of like black youth felt comfortable coming to his dojo, and he would give them like a month free, and he would heavily discount them, and he would like comp their, because the gear can be really expensive. So he would comp that for them. And I could see him begin to incorporate like the ways he mentored them, like that it was in there. Like he really impressed me a lot. So I don't think any experience is going to live up to that one, but but I don't need that, right? I love to see it, but I don't require it.
How were you hate crimed?
They vandalized my car. They slashed the tires and wrote words on it.
Oh,
Yeah, it was white too. Only white vehicle I've ever had.
that sucks.
Yeah. But anyway, I'm going to give them a shot here and see what happens.
Very cool.
I'm not someone that's ever like super athletic in shape all the time. I rarely have ever been in tip top shape, but I definitely start to feel it if I don't get any activity.
Well, I figure round is a shape, so
Yeah.
I have been thin at different parts of my weight has fluctuated my whole life, up and down, up and down, up and down.
Well, don't diabetes do that?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I have PCOS, so I had insulin resistance from a very young age.
Dang.
Yeah,
Are people dicks about it?
about my weight?
Yeah.
Oh, always. Yeah, all the time. I always get comments about it, or looks of disgust, or doors slamming in your face, or
What?
yeah. You're basically invisible to men when you're unfuckable,
Mm-hmm.
which I pride myself in being.
Like that's not the read you think it is. Oh no.
What will I do? I literally haven't been with a man this century, so
Right. Well, there's more to it than the desire thing. Like, first of all, that there's a misogyny there in that a person has to be desirable to hegemonic masculinity to deserve any kind of respectful treatment.
that's why I started playing Patriarchy Chicken.
Okay, tell us more.
So Patriarchy Chicken is the idea that as women, we are socialized to make ourselves smaller for men, to move over for men, to make room for men, all of those things. And we do it naturally. We do it without even thinking about it subconsciously. So patriarchal chicken is the idea that you just don't move for men and see what happens. And you get shoulders brushed quite often. And the look of surprise on their faces that you even exist in their world is interesting, because they just move through life and don't even worry about the women. They just barrel through, And so it's fun. I say there are cautions to this. You should only play it if you feel physically safe. Like,
Right.
I'm a shit brick house, right? You're not going to knock me over. But if you're a 4'2", 100-pound little tiny thing, you might not feel safe in doing that.
Yeah, have some backup.
Yeah. So only do it if you feel safe enough to do it. Because I have shoulder checked people before. Like but I'm an old white lady. I can get away with stuff that other people can't get away with. That is one of my privileges.
And it's worth it to draw attention to draw a person's attention to something like that.
Yeah.
There's a real good chance that in a different timeline, these folks would not want to be the way they are. That's how I was. That's how I was about, like fucked up things I had learned about race or class or myself growing up. Like, the horror of realizing you are a way that you wouldn't have chosen to be. I think there's a reason people recede from that.
Right.
It's been nice to see like my parents wake up from it, especially my mom wake up from it. I remember she was the one who told the racist jokes when we were kids.
Yeah. The first racist joke I was ever told was by my fourth grade teacher.
Oh my god. Okay, that's a bit. I did not experience that.
Well, we were on the playground and I was standing there talking to her, and there was a little girl named Cayenne in my class, and she made a little laugh and she said that cayenne pepper got burnt because she was kind of a dark brown.
Oh my god.
Yeah, she was 100 years old. That doesn't excuse it, but and that would have been, I don't know, fourth grade would have been 87, 88, somewhere in that range. So I mean, it was a different time, but still, teachers shouldn't be telling fourth graders racist jokes.
Well, they shouldn't be mocking other children to their children in general.
Yeah,
But yeah, certainly not racist ones.
old Mrs. Lane.
I learned there was some eye-opening shit I learned when I was a recruiter in Eastern Kentucky for the university, because I had to go to various functions and be with the staff and teachers of these high schools in very isolated parts of Eastern Kentucky. And some of it was just a joyful surprise, and most of it was more normal than a person might imagine it would be.
Right.
Sometimes it was absolutely horrifying. And those places were always like, good gosh. I was at one function, a teacher had retired or something. There was some award they were giving out in her honor. And she gets up and she starts talking about how she always led Bible studies in her class and stuff. I was like, this is a public fucking high school. And she's like, they can't fire me now, so I'll tell the truth. I made the students, like, she made the students lead the Bible study. They had to
Wow.
prepare verses and stuff. It's no wonder this cycle can't be broken in some of these places.
In Huntington, West Virginia, recently in the last year, some teachers got in trouble for forcing kids to go to a Christian assembly that they had. They had an outside group come in and put on a presentation, and the teachers told the students that they were forced to go, that they had to go, they couldn't opt out of it. So they made like these Jewish kids show up to these Christian events. And they got in a lot of trouble over it, which I was glad
Good.
to see. Because in places like Huntington, West Virginia, civil rights are not at the forefront of what people are caring about, you know? To hell with your rights is the attitude usually.
Yeah, they perceive it to be their right to enforce their ideals onto everyone
Like,
else.
how did that's exactly the same way that Antifa became the enemy, right? Like, it just means anti-fascist, which we should all be.
I saw a TikTok talking about an interaction she had with an older person who is going to the No Kings on Saturday. And she said that this woman asked her, "So did you sign up?" And she was like, "Sign up for what?" And she was like, "The No Kings. You just go to this website and you enter your name in there." And she was like, "Oh my God, they're laying traps for these fucking boomers out here. And they're going to get got." This is like the day on Sunday or Monday or whatever, when Trump announces that they got a list of the Antifa members. It's just going to be, well-meaning boomers that signed up to a website because they didn't know any better.
Right?
And then there'll be targets. And what website? I almost Googled it, but I was like, wait a minute, we got to be real careful here.
Right.
I mean, ICE is about to have all of our data.
Yeah. They're pulling visas for people that made fun of Charlie Kirk or even celebrated it in any way.
Yeah.
You know?
This isn't a policy and it's not legislative, but there is some sort of stoppage coming for passports with the X gender marker on it, October 14th.
That was yesterday, or the day before yesterday.
That's when it was okay. Yeah, that's when it was supposed to start, and it was the way it has been described by the folks tracking it is an errand in the morning, y'all. If you want to follow news that is basically curated about attacks on trans people across the country, she's your go-to. It's like a software update. Basically, the system, the TSA, the system itself is going to spit out, is going to reject everything that is not an F or an M.
That's wild. Even though it was 100% legal.
Absolutely, it's legal. And not only that, some people are assigned that marker at birth. That's the intersex marker.
Right.
So what you're saying is now a person has to transition in order to travel in your dystopia. You just said we can't transition.
That would be the greatest for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, they don't want there to be a solution. They want us to cease to exist.
Exactly. Exactly. Same with the homos.
Good luck, motherfuckers.
Yeah. If there's any group of people with with spirit not to be kicked out, it is the queers, man.
Like, do you know what I did to be here today?
Like, I had to tell my mother I was gay. Like, I can face anything.
The
like,
dollars, the effort, the manpower,
Yeah.
the will. Who do you think you are? Like, I'm more likely to be stopped by something right here in front of me, not his dumbass. You know, it could be helpful to actually remember that. Be like, no, it's what's in front of you that you need to. How do you strike that balance between being informed and being overwhelmed?
Right.
I'll let you know when I know. Well,
Ditto.
on that note, let's have a word from this week's sponsor.
Sounds good.
This week's episode of Queer Next is brought to you by Mean Ass Barn Cats. The tiny, furry demons keeping rural America in check, one hiss, one scratch at a time. With Mercury's perpetually in retrograde, mean-ass barn cats aren't born, they manifest. Nobody remembers bringing them home, they just showed up one winter and started paying rent in field voles. They've got scars older than your underwear, one good eye that sees through lies, and a bite force that could snap a broom handle. They don't want or need your love, they want your respect, your leftovers, and maybe your soul if you look at them wrong. You cannot tame them, you cannot hold them, but you can admire them from a distance, preferably while wearing gloves and holding a tetanus shot voucher. They'll vanish for months, then reappear in the hayloft like a half-remembered ghost story. They keep mice out, snakes nervous, and the neighbors guessing. Sure, they've drawn blood more than once, but honestly, you probably deserved it. And yet, deep down they love you, or at least tolerate your existence in their own weird way, which in cat language is basically a marriage proposal. So here's to mean-ass barn cats, too wild to cuddle, too ancient to die, and too proud to purr where anyone can hear it.
Aw. That's a good one.
Fucking love barn cats.
Yeah.
I just love I mean, I don't think they all should be forced to, but I just love the sense of unbotheredology that a working animal can really, present.
Well, that's what Baby was before we brought her inside, and now she
Yeah.
is very happily a house dog. She spent 11 years outside. I miss having a cat.
Do you think you'll ever have another cat?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Baby would eat them. Anything we brought in that small, Baby would just eat because literally that was her job. It was her job to keep the hill clear of the rabbits and the deer carcasses and everything else that would show up there.
I saw a TikTok of a woman realizing this dog she's fostering speaks Spanish. It was so cute because they thought it just wasn't trained. They thought it wouldn't mind or anything at all. But she spoke Spanish, and so she just said something under her breath, and it like perked up. Like it wouldn't come to her, and then all of a sudden she said "Vámonos," and it just like, okay, I'm ready, I'm here, we're going out. Can you imagine how that would feel so cool? Like it would have to be really cool to happen to find an animal and foster it, and it spoke your native language.
Yeah, that's awesome. We ate the Waffle House last night, and my stomach hasn't been right since.
Yeah, I mean, I'm jealous, but I also, that's probably how I would feel as well.
Yeah. Well, it's the only thing. Shannon gets off work at 10, and so what's open between here and BG at 10 o'clock at night? Not very much. So
I thought she was on nights.
they switched her over. She can't work alone right now because of her knee.
Yeah.
She's going to have surgery on her knee, and so she can't lift anything over 80 pounds, and everybody there weighs more than 80 pounds. So she can't do some of the stuff that needs to happen overnight.
Wow.
So she's working evenings right now.
They being supportive of her?
Yeah, because she busted her knee at work on top of everything,
Absolutely.
So, yeah, they're real cool with her because she's got documentation for all of it, right? The doctor put her on restriction, the 80-pound restriction. So,
I'd say it's on camera too.
no, the house isn't under surveillance.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's a home. That's the way they see it.
I lived next to the retirement home down there in Richmond for years, the whole time I was teaching at EKU. And there was some excitement occasionally. Like they had a couple of of roamers. Sometimes you just look out the window and there'd be grandma going down in her 90. And you'd have to call them.
That's funny. They have neighbors like that at Shanna's. It's because sometimes they'll end up on the porch or whatever. They just call over the house and say, come get him.
I mean, at that point in your life, just do what you feel like.
Yeah.
To a certain point.
We went and got ice cream the other day at the Sunday Station in BG. I don't know if you know where that is. It's over by there's an old folks home across the street from it. And there was the slowest parade of like 6 people I have ever seen walking up and down the sidewalk. They led to like the oldest, most like crypt keeper to old lady in front of them and they lead the pack. And they were going like 1 mile per hour.
Okay. I'm here. That's fine.
Yeah, I find myself laughing at the most inappropriate things sometimes. It was hilarious because it really was the slowest parade ever.
There's a pretty great TikTok account of a home, and they make content. And there's one video in particular that's like how to holler at your crush, and he comes up to stand in front of these 2 girls, and then he just screams at the top of his lungs. And they jerk, and she had a drink in her hand, and like their comedic timing is great, their performance is great, like they clearly are hilarious people, but the person editing them also knows exactly what to do, and all their shit is so good. Do you know what you're gonna dress up as for the Halloween live?
No, I have no idea yet. Though Shanna and I have a good costume that's a couple's costume.
Oh, cool. Is Shanna gonna join us?
Yes.
Awesome. Oh, listeners, you're gonna get to meet Shanna. And I get to see Shanna. I haven't seen Shanna Banana in a long time.
Our couple's costume is we both put on name tags because we used to put like gray in our hair and shit, but now it's just how we look.
Now it's great.
Yeah. So all you got to do is put on a name tag that says Jean, like Jean or Gene, and go together and you're somebody's favorite old pair of jeans.
Oh, nice. I don't know. I kind of want to. I don't want to like hide my face necessarily. Like they're gonna know how we look eventually, right? Like there's enough context clues. People are gonna know how we look, but I do still want to like deliver a fantasy. You know, I've always been kind of bad at costumes.
Yeah, me too. I never had money for costumes, so
yeah, I always had to make stuff.
One year I went as the softball player for Pell.
I went as a softball dyke last year for the drag show.
Oh, I put white on my face and red lines down it with lipstick.
No, I didn't do that.
Yeah, I was like 13.
I had to shave though, so I left the mustache, but plenty of softball players have mustaches.
Right. Been there. Sounds like my ex-girlfriend.
I had a rainbow carabiner, put my keys on. I had some gym socks that I wore up to my knees with like Adidas slide flippers over them. Cut off jean shorts and a baseball shirt, backwards baseball cap with the very sporty sunglasses that softball dykes wear.
Yes.
Yeah, and my name was Ashley Furniture.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, and because I was judging the drag show too, so I had to get up and introduce myself, and so I was like, that I came up, I was just like, okay, I'm Ashley Furniture, center field. The girls call me Ash, and often Gold Star. And then I just sat down.
Have you ever heard of a Platinum Star gay man?
No, I haven't heard that one.
It's one born by C-section.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's just, okay. Do you want to do a noun of Appalachian interest?
I do. I have a good one this week.
Yay.
I think, anyway, from my hometown. All right. Now, when I say Roy Rogers, I'm not talking about the fast food joint that serves fried chicken and roast beef under the same roof like that's a normal thing. No, I'm talking about the Roy Rogers, the king of the cowboys, the man who wore more fringe than a county fair prize goat and somehow made it look dignified. Roy Rogers was born Leonard Franklin Sly in Lucasville, Ohio, which isn't exactly cattle country, but it turns out that you don't need to be born in the desert to ride tall in the saddle. Under the stage lights, he became the singing, smiling symbol of good, clean Western heroism. He could rope a steer, ride a horse, and croon a tune, all without ever wrinkling his pearl snap shirt. And his horse, that was Trigger, the smartest horse in the movies, who could reportedly untie knots, bow for applause, and probably fill out a W-2 if you gave him a pen. And let's be real, Roy's cowboy image was less about the gritty reality of ranch life and more about the aspiration of it. He was the guy your grandma would call a real gentleman, and your grandpa would grudgingly admit could handle himself. Between movies, radio shows, and TV appearances, Roy became a full-blown American icon with that signature white hat always sitting just right, like it had a permanent halo. Roy Rogers wasn't just a singing cowboy, he was a moral compass with a saddle. He made kids believe that right always beats wrong, that your horse is your best friend, and that you can wear a scarf around your neck in the middle of summer if you commit hard enough. So here's to the boy from Lucasville who made it all the way to Hollywood, our most famous resident ever, taking a little bit of Appalachia heart along for the ride.
I did not know he was from the area.
Yeah, my grandpa went to elementary school with him.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. You can still visit his boyhood home back on Duck Run, which is like 2 hollers back behind mine.
There's a Coen Brothers movie called Hail Caesar that I really enjoy. It's one of their, I think, lesser known ones, but it's got George Clooney in it, and it's about that era of Hollywood.
Yeah.
And there's a character it's a Roy Rogers type character, and it sort of explores like what a person from that experience might have felt like in that era. And it was at the time of talkies too, so he has the accent, right? He has his way of speaking, but he's got to deliver more and more ridiculous dialogue.
That's really cool.
I like movies about Hollywood, but it's also kind of difficult. That movie Babylon, did you see that?
Mm-mm.
I loved it. But it was also tough because Hollywood has a very depraved history, and it is so depraved that Hollywood can't tell it because you can't put it on screen.
Oh, wow.
Like the things that happened, like the Fatty Arbuckle thing is a good example. And
What's the Fatty Arbuckle thing?
Content warning, listeners, if you don't know about Fatty Arbuckle, this is a sexual assault story. But he absolutely did do it. He was acquitted, though. But the person that he assaulted died. He assaulted her that...
Savagely?
Yeah, and for a prolonged amount of time at a party.
Oh, wow.
So they open with that sort of kind of story at the beginning of Babylon, but they had to tone it down because they couldn't include all that on screen. And so they changed it to something that was portrayed as consensual. That was the only part of that movie that I was just like, if you don't do it, right? If you can't actually tell it, then don't change it. Don't like pull the punch on it, because what happened to Virginia Rapp is important. What happened in the aftermath, the fact that we let him off scot-free, he got a public apology from the judge because it tarnished his reputation or whatever. So I don't know, that kind of annoyed me, but the rest of the movie is perfect. It's really, really fun, and it's just fun to look at. I mean, Hollywood for me is like super important anyway, just because of what it has grown into and what we use it to create. But its history, people think of Hollywood as very white. Hollywood is not white. What's on camera is white. Hollywood is queer, and it is BIPOC, and it's immigrant, which makes it all the more important that the fact that what makes it to screen is whiteness, is middle classness, because that's not what made it.
It's the hegemonic identities that make it to, because those are the stories that they think that we want told. Those are the stories that people want to consume.
Yeah. Well, damn, I think I figured out how to make us go live.
Well, fantastic.
We will be on YouTube 8 p.m. Does that time work for you? I didn't even ask.
8 p.m. my time or your time?
Your time.
Yeah, that works.
All right. Halloween night, Friday, October 31st. We will be live on YouTube at 8 p.m. We will be in silly costumes. And we love you all, but we're honestly don't have a ton of bandwidth to rig up anything super special for you this year. But we promise we will be funny, and we'll have some cool things to share. And then we'll watch a movie together. You can either watch us watch it. You know what? Actually, we could just like share the watch party link there in the chat of the live. That way people don't have to give us money, but we can still like probably control the spread of it. Because I'm just afraid to put that out there first and then it gets somewhere that we don't want it to go, you know?
Right.
By next year, we'll have it figured out. Should we have a Christmas party too?
If you want, I'm up for it. Sounds like fun to me. That book club is doing the Bitch That Stole Christmas, the RuPaul.
Oh, hell yeah.
That might be a good one for us to do.
I'm down. That would be great. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how I participate from afar, but I would love to.
But I mean, we could do that on our own, like do it as an event for us too.
Oh, Yeah.
That'd be a good one for a Christmas show.
Yeah. Well, as usual, the links to everything we're talking about will be in the show notes, and subscribe to the newsletter if you want to keep in the loop on shit. And tell a friend if you're enjoying our show. We appreciate that.
Please.
We'll see y'all next time. Say hi to your mom and them.
Bye.
I keep it. I keep it.